$83,000 for this 2023 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. You heard that correct. It's a 2023 model, and they're still asking $83,000 for it. And this is with a discount of over $25,000 because apparently the MSRP was over $110,000. $110,000. That is insane. I mean, we're talking about prices you could buy a house for in some areas. Might not be necessarily the best house, but this is something we're talking about in terms of could have gotten you an actual home 30, 40 years ago. And now this is the asking price for a car. And mind you, that $83,000, that's just the base price. I mean, this doesn't include all the add-ons, all the fees, and once you're done with everything and all the interest that you have to pay on it, it's probably going to be pretty close to 100. But for the most part, you're going to be paying well over $90,000 when it's all said and done. $90,000 for a Grand Wagoneer. Who asked for this? I mean, I, in some ways, feel a little bad for some of these dealers. Not really, but you have to understand that these dealers, to a large degree, don't have much say in what these automakers decide to build. And the fact that they're bringing these $110,000 Jeep Grand Wagoneers, someone has to be scratching their head and asking themselves, how the hell are we supposed to sell this? This doesn't make any sense. And the quality of these things isn't all that great either. But this isn't just an isolated issue. I mean, they've got 4 other 2023 models. They're all but one of them is a Grand Wagoneer. They're trying to cut the prices on these by massive amounts. All the Grand Wagoneers are over $100,000. And then you have this Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is at, $73,000. They cut it down to now $48,000. And it's not necessarily that that's expensive. I mean, it is still expensive. But the fundamental issue with these dealers and these automakers is in the prior 2 to 3 years, they destroyed their customer base by basically getting a lot of their customers into these overpriced vehicles that ended up depreciating significantly once the vehicle shortages of COVID ended. And now a lot of these customers are severely underwater and just simply cannot get out of those loans to get into a new car, even if they wanted to. And so instead of making maybe 2 or 3 sales on with the same customer, they ended up just only having 1 sale because that customer ended up not coming back, not putting that vehicle back into the used section of their sales. And you have a lot of customers who are sort of in that boat where they would like to come back, but they're broke. And that's just the reality of the situation. That's why these $48,000 vehicles are not moving. I mean, you could try to make them, a little bit more affordable, but the problem is if you've already made your customers broke, you're in a bad position all around. And anyways, let's look into this Ford dealer. Ford, if you look at this right here, is doing this whole 000 thing, 0 down payment, 0% interest for 48 months, and 0 payments for 90 days. I mean, it's just insane what they're trying to go for. But look as to why they're doing this. If you look into this dealership right here, 67 2023 models, 57 2024 models, that's about 35% of their vehicles are previous year models. This is why they're doing this 000 thing, because they don't want to go into the 2026 year with 2023 models, 2024 models, 2025 models, and 2026 models. And what you'll notice is they don't have any 2026 models on their lot. Now, this actually isn't normal. I've seen actually some other dealers do have 2026s on their lot. A lot of these Fords, they just can't. And this is the fundamental issue. These automakers, they put a lot of their dealerships in a really tough position where now they're staring at having cars from 4 separate years on their lots. And these cars are all competing with each other. They're taking up lot space. They're costing these dealerships a fortune with all the floor plans. And it is just insane. And it's not necessarily like a lot of these vehicles are super expensive. Now, yes, they are overpriced. I mean, $43,000 for this Ford Escape plug-in. And look, that's too much. But, $34,000. Actually, you know what? $34,000 I mean, I still think it's overpriced, but it's not crazy overpriced like what we were seeing a year or two ago. But like I said, they have the same problem that Jeep has in that, and so customers who otherwise would have been coming back to purchase vehicles to go out there and add up to their sales numbers, give them maybe some vehicle that they can sell in their used segment, those customers are no longer there. So these automakers have shot themselves in the foot. And now, for some, not all, but for some, it's becoming a race to the bottom. And quite frankly, I have no sympathy for them. Now, the fundamental problem is I'm not sure if a lot of these auto dealers really want to know how broke the customer is, because the customer could be significantly broke to the point where even with this 000, it might not work. Now, what this will do, this whole 000 thing, is I think it is going to suck customers from other dealerships. I notice Nissan is now doing the whole 000 thing over there. And eventually, I think you're going to have other dealers that might want to do the same as well, because they're going to be losing customers to Ford, to Mitsubishi, and to any other auto manufacturer that is doing any of this 000 stuff. And these automakers, it looks like to me that they are slowly realizing that they have decimated their customer base. They have really gone all in on this, selling fewer cars at higher margins. It was a good thing in the short run. In the long run, it looks like it's biting them in the butt, and they just simply don't want to acknowledge it. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this situation, and thanks for listening.